Welcome back, guys. Again, this is Charles Clark with the Pegasus Shift methodology, as I'm experimentally calling it right now. All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about emotions and how they influence our thoughts, how they influence our perception, and how they forewarn us of what's coming next in our life. All right, so let's just jump right in. Our emotions influence our thoughts. You know, there's a book I want to show you really quick. One second. So in this book, The Gap and the Gain, there is this PhD psychologist type dude, Benjamin Hardy. He interviewed Dan Sullivan, the founder of this great strategic coach consulting program. And in the book, he talks about how the way that we remember things is actually influenced by our emotion. And what we remember and how we remember it is influenced. It's a more of an accurate reflection of how we're feeling in the current moment than even how that event was at motivating or creating that emotion. We might remember the event a certain way if we had a strong emotional reaction to it, but what you are choosing to, or what not really choosing, what you are remembering in a moment, like if you're watching this video right now and you're thinking like, oh, watching me reminds you of something, reminds you of your one professor one day, or reminds you of your one friend, I don't know. That's more of a reflection of how you're feeling right now. The fact that you're remembering that person or that other person, or that thing, then that person was at influencing your emotion, right? It's like I say it and it's so obvious, but the ramifications of what I'm saying are so significant. You need to really think about this. The thoughts that you have in your head are more of a reflection of how you're feeling than anything else. It's not the things out there in your life that are causing you to feel a certain way. You are feeling a certain way. And then you look out and into your perception, into your memory, into what you can see in the outside, and you look, the things that you notice are the things that make sense to you based on what you're feeling. You could literally have say, I love this book, right? I like this book, Map of Consciousness, right? Some days, I'm like, this is the coolest book. Because I'm feeling like I feel like studying the consciousness scale. I feel like studying esoteric mysticism and spirituality. And I'm like, this book is so cool. But on days when I'm studying filmmaking, you know what book I do not want to reach for? This one. Right now I'm in a like spirituality kind of state. This is what I want to study. When I'm in a filmmaking state, I don't want to study that. I want to study filmmaking, or I want to get my hands on the camera and make some stuff, right? So our emotional state influences the thoughts that we have, influences the memories that we have. That's amazing. It's all in your emotional state. And then because influencing your thoughts also influences our perception, because perception is what you are perceiving, what you are able to be aware of in any given moment in time, what you're focusing on. I know that I've come to learn though that some people, so like for me, I can only focus on one thing at a time. That might just be my unique wiring. My fiance and I were talking, and she's able to see everything in the room. Like if she's standing in the room, she can see everything in the room at once. And I just can't. I focus on one thing at a time. I go from here to here to here. I might be able to do it really fast, and I might be able to scan, but I go one thing at a time. I remember learning about this though in like, I think I learned about, yeah, in driver's ed, I remember learning that like men tend to have more tunnel vision, where women have more peripheral vision. So if you're a man or woman watching this, I don't know how this is going to influence your perception. Maybe you can perceive the entire room, you know? But how you feel about what you're looking at, the things that you actually clock, you know, you might be able to like see the whole room, but you can only recall or like give attention or focus to certain parts of it at a time, unless you are watching the whole thing, in which case that's what you're watching. You know, it's like if you're, you know, when I watch a movie, sometimes I'm watching the movie and I'm following the story. Sometimes I'm watching the actor's performance. Sometimes I'm watching the camera angle choices. Sometimes I'm watching the lighting. Sometimes I'm watching the sound design. Like, even if all that's happening within the same scene, the same 2-minute scene, but I could be watching it through all those different lenses at any given time. So if you're watching the whole thing, that's the lens that you're watching it through. Whatever lens that you're choosing to watch it through. So that is again, like, it comes back to, it's a reflection of how you're feeling. And so right along with that, if you connect that to the last video, right? If you haven't watched that one, you gotta go watch this one. This is number 3. I have these numbers going up here. You can pay attention to that. That's the number in the series. So I don't want to make it big, because that's like, you can watch these in any order that you want, but if you want to go it sequentially, that's your cue there. All right, so our emotions forewarn us of what's coming. So if you watch that with the last video, the things that you perceive, you know, your emotions affect your thoughts. Your emotions affect what you're able to perceive, and then your emotions are going to forewarn you of what's coming. You will be drawn to environments that harmonize with your emotional state. You will notice things that harmonize with your emotional state. You will notice things that anger you if you're feeling angry, just because you want to. Because you want to justify your anger. That's the natural, like, we know that's how it works. That's how we perceive things, right? That's how we make thoughts. That's how we experience the emotional state, and then we look out to the world and we see the validation for how we're feeling, whatever that emotional state is. And so therefore, you will go towards the thing. This is so simple, but it's so profound. You will go towards the thing that harmonizes with your emotional state. You will be drawn to that thing, to the moment in time, to the environment that has the frequency in a way that is one that you can harmonize with, the one that you think will create for you the opportunity to, like, really flesh out and dive into that emotional experience that you're looking for. And you can tell that you're looking for it because that's how you're feeling. You're riding an emotional wave. You're gonna go somewhere where you can ride that wave. You know, if you're surfing and you see where the waves are, you're gonna paddle out to where you think you can catch the wave. If you're riding a particular emotional wave, you're gonna go somewhere where you can ride out that emotional wave. If you're feeling heartbroken and you're like, I just want to cry, you're gonna, like, and you know that the best way and the easiest way that you can do that, based on how you like to handle your emotions, is if you get your favorite ice cream or you get some popcorn. Maybe not popcorn, because popcorn feels too happy. Do people like cry and eat popcorn? I can't imagine that, but I can imagine people crying and eating ice cream for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe that's just me. But so if you've got your ice cream and you've got a movie that you know is going to make you cry, and you're like, you're bought in. You're like, oh, I need to get this out. I feel like crying. I need to get it out. You watch it, and then you're like, the release. Or you feel like fighting. If you feel like fighting, you go to a fight. You watch a fight. Or you get into an argument with somebody. You're like, I feel like fighting. There's been a time when my fiance and I, we were both feeling just like hyped up for some reason, and we started to notice that like we had some antsy energy, hyped up energy, and she did. It was one of the funniest, coolest things that we did. We're like, let's get in a fight about something that we don't really care about. And she I think she suggested the idea, and I was like, yes, I want to do this. Let's do this, because I wanted to fight about something. I had the energy in me, and this prompted a huge argument between us about what's better, Birkenstocks or Crocs. I said Birkenstocks are better, and Crocs are crap. And she took the exact opposite. She's like, Crocs are better, Birkenstocks are crap. And it was so fun. We rode that emotional wave. So, our emotions are going to influence our thoughts. It's going to influence the things that we remember. The people that we remember. If we're feeling angry, we're going to remember that one person did that one thing, and now I'm angry because they didn't give me that money back. If you're feeling really good, you're going to remember like, oh my gosh, I remember we went to that one vacation. It was a really good time. Whatever. So, and then it's going to influence your perception. Oh, if you're feeling really good, it's like, oh, I remember we went to that one vacation that one time. It was a really good time. Oh, well, you know what? I see there's that place. Well, on vacation, we went to this one Italian restaurant, and you're walking down the street, and you see, hey, there's another Italian restaurant. That would be really cool. You guys want to go to another Italian restaurant? Right? So it influences your thoughts, influences your perception. You see that? You see how that worked? And then it'll forewarn you of what's going to come. If you're going from like, man, I remember I had a really good time on that one. We went to that Italian restaurant on that vacation. We had a really good time. Hey, there's another Italian restaurant out there. You guys want to go? If you go, if you're feeling like that and you're like, there's that spot that looks awesome, let's go. You're probably going to have a really good time when you go. That's how that works. That's how that works in the simplest way, right? Okay, so, all right, hold on. So this video's getting long. I'm going to end it. I just want to tell you where I'm going next. This is a cool one. So it's about like how you identify what you're being attracted to at any given time. How you handle all this, basically. Okay, really I just gotta jump into it. So this video's ending. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, I'd recommend you do that, because if you're watching these videos, then you're interested, so you might as well. And also, if you like it, it adds to the algorithm. So do that if you like it, I guess. All right, but really, if you want to learn more, watch the next video.